if you don't, I still remember it all. You were my shelter from the rain when it fall. I would call, but never came. I'm not perfect, but I swear I've changed.
This is the fucking Monday. This is the Monday. It's the first Monday of the new year. So it's the perfect opportunity for you to transition, right? The new year is a time where, you know, we're transitioning. I like to think of it because we're beginning a new year, we're ending an old one, and a lot of people like to hop on the new year, new me crowd. And you know, I love the thought of people wanting to better themselves. I love it so much. It's literally why I do what I do, to be able to create an impact and to be able to help people realize that they're capable of much more than they're currently giving themselves. But the problem that I have with the new year, new me crowd is that it just doesn't fucking work. And it doesn't work because by the first week of the new year, people are burnt out. They're no longer motivated to do the work because at the end of the day, they were never actually committed to the goal that they set out. They were just simply interested in achieving that goal. So the thing is, a lot of people enter the new year wanting, wishing, talking about these things that they want to accomplish. But you can't make this the year of wanting, wishing, and talking. You have to make this the year that you actually take action, that you are taking deliberate and intentional action and just doing something even very, very small that's going to take you closer to where you want to be. And today, you know, what I wanted to focus on is how to take action in 2023. Because that is the biggest limiting factor, is that people are either too afraid to take action or they just don't know how. And that's okay, right? It's okay to not know how to do something, but I want to give you guys a couple of different steps or a couple of different tips, hacks, however you want to look at it, that's going to help you determine what exactly you want to do this year or determine what you want to accomplish by the end of the year or 6 months within the year, whatever it may be, and figure out how you can actually take that goal and create a plan of action so that it's not just you talking about something that you want to accomplish, it's about you actually doing actions every day that are going to take you a little bit closer. Because there's a quote that I heard, and I have this written on my whiteboard, and I may have mentioned it in the podcast before because it's such a powerful quote that has made a big impact on my life, and it's this: it's not one big extraordinary thing, it's small things done for an extraordinary period of time that are going to make the difference, okay? Because I feel like there's a little bit of misinformation out there where, you know, you see the glamour and the glitz and, you know, the beauty of social media where it shows the end goal. You see somebody on top, you see them with the trophy, you see them with all the things that you want. Or you see them with the body or whatever, that you see them with what you want and you have no idea how they got there, and you're going through this journey to try to get there, and it's so messy and you keep fucking up and you keep messing up and you don't know what you're doing wrong, when at the end of the day, the journey is a mess. The journey is disgusting, it's painful, it's uncomfortable, but that's how it's supposed to be. You know, we've all heard that in order to actually accomplish anything great in life or in order to accomplish any sort of success, you have to fail. It's like anything. Like when a baby stands up for the first time, it doesn't just stand up and start walking around. It stands up, it falls on its butt, it gets back up, dusts itself off, and it tries again. But what if that same baby fell on its butt for the first time and it just stayed down? That person would never walk. We would not be walking and talking like we've been doing it for our entire lives. Like it's literally, we don't even think about it anymore. We just get up and we go. So that's where you start. It's like, I like to think of this analogy with the new year, is that on January 1st, you pull up to an empty plot of land. It's like an empty field. And you have this blueprint in your pocket of a photo of your dream house. It's this big, beautiful home that you want to build on this plot of land. Okay? You're ready, you're motivated, you're excited to do the work to get there. And then a week goes by And this work is not easy. You're out there, you're laying bricks all day long, you're doing foundation work, and you're doing all this messy work, and you probably have failed already a couple times, but about a week in, you're kind of getting tired and you're getting, exhausted with the monotony of the actions. And like I said, it's hard work. So you're feeling tired. But that's where most people quit. They get 1 or 2 weeks in, maybe even 3 or 4 weeks, and they start getting bored with the monotony of it. And they think that there is no way that doing all of these small things every single day are going to actually get them to where they want to go. And when you look at the home, you have to not focus on the end goal, because looking at an empty plot of land and thinking that you're going to have to build this big, huge, beautiful home on it, it can be a little bit overwhelming. There's a lot that goes into it. But if instead you focused on just laying one brick at a time perfectly, and understanding that some days maybe that brick is going to look a little bit fucked up and you're not going to lay it perfectly, but that's okay, as long as you continue moving forward and you continue moving on to the next brick. One brick at a time, just like in life, we got to move forward one step at a time. You can't climb a ladder and skip 5 steps. You're not really going to successfully get to the top of that ladder. You're probably going to fall off right on your face. So, the first thing, or the first tip, is to set realistic goals and then create milestones and phases along the way that you can kind of go off of and measure your progress on. And, this is one of the biggest mistakes that I see people make, because, I've been working in the fitness industry for over a decade. I've managed gyms, so I've seen the New Year crowd. I've signed them up for memberships, and I've seen them come in, and then I've never seen them again. So the biggest mistake I see a lot of people make when they are coming up with New Year's resolutions is that they set goals that are completely unrealistic. They tell themselves that they're going to lose 50 pounds in 2 months, or that they're going to go from never going to the gym to being there 7 days a week for 2 hours, going all in on their workouts. Or they say they're going to completely cut out carbohydrates, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard, because carbs are delicious and there's no science behind a low carb approach being more effective than anything else. So all of these things sound great on paper, but these drastic changes are more likely to lead to failure, because such an extreme change is tough to remain committed and consistent with. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how perfect a plan sounds or looks. The thing that matters is, can you actually stay consistent with it? So when setting goals for the new year, or for any other time during the year, you want to make sure you choose something that you can see yourself maintaining for the rest of your life if you needed to. Like, if you don't think that you can maintain going to the gym 7 days a week for 2 hours a day for your entire life, then maybe we should just start off with doing 2 days a week. Like, get out 30 to 45 minutes, because those 2 days are going to be more impactful than you just completely burning yourself out and then not being able to even commit to anything in the future. All right. So when you're setting goals, make sure they're actually realistic. Make sure that there's something that you can actually stick with, and then make sure that you're celebrating the little wins along the way and creating little milestones. Like, if you have a goal where you want to lose 100 pounds, maybe set little 5-pound goals. Every time you lose 5 pounds, it can be a little bit of a success, instead of just saying, well, I'm not even close to where I want to be. All right. So set realistic goals, create milestones, and make it phased throughout the way. And that's something where you can talk to, like, if you have a coach or something, and get it more specific for you. But you can't diet all year round and be in a very, very low calorie deficit all year round and expect to see long-term results. Because like I said at the beginning, it's something that can't really be maintained that long-term. So eventually you're going to burn out and your metabolism isn't going to really work for you. So you have to do it in phases, right? There are going to be different phases where we're going harder than other phases where we're focusing more on recovering and focusing more on our hormone health and other things that are maybe more of a priority in our life, right? We all go through different seasons. I just got off of a very stressful season of my life where we were planning the wedding, where we were focused on travel, where we were focusing on just the entire thing around the wedding. And now that I'm off of that, I have more time where I can focus on my fitness and my nutrition and the progress that I'm doing with my clients. So you have to understand that not every time is going to be perfect, and we go through different seasons of life, but we can still focus on the things that we deem important to us. And it's all about setting realistic goals, because if you set unrealistic goals, you're going to be let down and you're going to wonder why you're never moving forward. So number 2, it kind of goes right off of that. You want to start with things that make a big impact. And I like to think of it like this. Think of things that are a small commitment, but create a big impact. So when making changes, think about that. They're kind of like big rocks. So imagine yourself, you're like throwing rocks into a lake or a pond, and you throw a pebble into the lake. The ripples are going to be small and they're not going to travel too far. But imagine instead you throw a big rock or like a boulder into the lake. The ripples are going to be big and they're going to travel much further, meaning they're going to create a bigger impact, right? And some examples of this when it comes to fitness and health, because that's where I teach my people, is like things like avoiding heavily processed foods, strength training, walking more, getting better sleep. Because, for example, we can go off of the avoid heavily processed foods, or at least moderate them, right? These foods are not quote unquote bad for you, but they are chemically altered to make them very, very easy to overconsume. So if you focus on eating more real foods like protein, fruits, vegetables, or foods with less ingredients like potatoes and rice and things like that, those foods are going to actually help to keep you full and satisfied and decrease your chances of overconsuming them. And they're going to help you stay more consistent. And naturally, you're probably going to go into a calorie deficit from that without even tracking your macros and overwhelming yourself with that right off the bat. Another thing you could do is strength train, right? This style of training gives you the most bang for your buck compared to all other forms of exercise. You can run for an hour every single day, but that's not going to have as much of an impact as strength training will, because you're creating a different adaptation that's going to help you put on more muscle, and more muscle means more calories burned, which means a faster metabolism, which means better results. Okay, so it impacts the metabolism in a positive way. So you can literally teach your body how to burn more calories on its own, right? And then walking more. If you increase the amount that you move throughout the day, it's the simplest and the easiest way to improve your health, because you're more likely to stay consistent with it, right? And you don't even need to add in like a 45-minute walk. You can just add in moving more throughout your day. So you park a little bit further away when you go to the store, you take the stairs, you go to the bathroom that's further away from your desk, and you're forced to move a little bit more. So just doing things that are simple like that, and even getting better sleep. Sleep impacts your habits. It impacts your cravings, your activity level, your energy, your focus. It even impacts your determination and your hormones. So the reason why we focus on those quote unquote big rocks is because it's so important. It helps build the skill of developing or changing habits. And that's exactly how you accomplish any goal. As you start building these habits, you're going to naturally start to add more things along the way, or be looking for something else to add so you can continue to earn the results that you want. All right. So think of things again, small commitment, big impact. It's going to be so much easier for you to actually stick to it and create the skill of building habits. All right. Number 3 is know what you want and what you are not, and what you are willing to do to get there. And I think that this kind of goes right back to what I was talking about with setting realistic goals, is that we need to first understand what exactly we want. So one way that I have my clients do this, and you guys can do this yourself and you can do this at home, it's an activity that'll take you like 2 to 5 minutes to do, is that I have them draw a big circle. And in the circle, they put the word wants. So WANTS, like what do you want out of life? All right, and outside the circle, you put don't wants. And then you set a timer for 2 to 5 minutes. All right, I like to do it in 2 minutes. And the reason why I prefer the shorter time frame is because it gives you less of an opportunity to overthink things. All right, so say you set the timer for 2 minutes and you just write. You write down whatever comes to your mind of what you want out of life in any area, and you can be as specific or as broad as possible. I say more specific is better, because then it kind of defines a little bit more clearly what you want and then what you don't want. And some people might struggle with this, but at the end of the day, it's going to help you determine what you really want out of life, what truly matters, and it's going to help you stay connected to your why, to not just do this activity, but then also keep that piece of paper with you every single day and look at it every day, so you can constantly be reminded of what you are working towards. Because there are going to be a lot of days in the mix where you don't want to do shit and you are not motivated to do anything, but you can't rely on motivation. You have to focus on the discipline, and the discipline comes from you doing the things that you don't want to do, even when you don't want to do them. And that comes back to remembering why you're doing it in the first place. So know what you want, step one there, but then also be honest with yourself to what you are and what you are not willing to do to get it. For example, if somebody wants to compete in a bodybuilding competition, but they're unwilling to track their macros and they're unwilling to go and strength train, then I think they need to really reevaluate what they actually want. If they're not in a place where they want to track macros, then maybe we just focus on weight loss or fat loss or muscle building instead of focusing on such a very, very strict goal, such as stepping on a bodybuilding stage. Okay? So think about that and then really understand what you want and what you are and what you are not willing to do. And the key thing here is being honest with yourself, because if you're not honest with yourself on this step, it's going to just mess you up down the road. All right? Number 4, focus on the process, not the end goal. And I kind of touched on this at the beginning when I was talking about laying one brick at a time when you're building a house, because when you look at the big house that you got to build and you think about it, it gets extremely overwhelming and you're more likely to quit because you don't truly believe in yourself yet. But you build belief along the way through focusing on the process and earning small little victories along the way. So focus on the day-to-day process. If you're trying to lose weight, focus on having extreme discipline to the basics of calories, of protein, of water, of movement, of sleep, of the things that you know are going to get you there. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink things. Just focus on the process. And if you fuck up one day, cool. Just get right back on it the next day and continue to focus on the process. All right? And the last thing, guys, I wanted to touch on is accept the fact that you will fail. You're going to fail. You're going to fall down. You're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to mess up. You're going to make mistakes. But those things are inevitable. Failure is inevitable. But what's a choice is you learning from that failure. So when you do mess up and when you do make a mistake and when you do fail, that's an opportunity for you to learn and to grow and to keep moving closer towards your goal, because now you know what not to do and you're starting to understand and kind of troubleshoot on what you need to do. Nobody knows what they're doing. I don't know what I'm doing the majority of the time, but that doesn't stop me from taking action, because a lot of people fear taking action because they are afraid that they are going to fail. Now, if you understand that you are going to fail and that that is okay as long as you don't make the same mistake 2 or 3 times, then you're good. Like, shake that off your shoulders and let that weight fall off of your shoulders. And that fear of failure doesn't need to be something that holds you back. All right? Because fear is only false evidence appearing real. You're going to fail. Accept that fact and move on with your life. Because if you want to accomplish anything great, if you want to accomplish any sort of goal or be successful in any area of your life, you need to accept the fact that you are going to fail trying to climb the ladder. It's inevitable. All right? So with all of this, guys, it really comes down to the fact that no matter what happens, you have to just keep moving forward and just keep focusing on the next decision. You can't allow your past decisions to define you. You have to just focus on making the next best decision that's right in front of you. All right? And understand that you can't just hope for your goals to come true. Hope can get you far. Hope can really be powerful and can get you far. But hope is not going to get you all the way there. What you need to lean on more is faith and belief. Because belief, discipline, and faith in what you're doing is going to trump hope every single time. It's the same thing as motivation versus discipline. Right? You can't lean on motivation, because motivation, I say it all the time, is like that friend who tells you that they're going to show up for lunch or they're coming to meet you for coffee and then they cancel at the last minute. That's motivation. You have to lean on discipline. You have to lean on the structure and stability that your goals and the process towards your goals provide you with. Because at the end of the day, you cannot control everything that's going on, but you can always control how you respond and how you view what is happening in your life. So choose to have the discipline to keep going no matter what bullshit you're going through. Because we all have some excuse that we can make, and if we look for an excuse, we are absolutely going to find one. But if you are committed to achieving your goals instead of being just interested in them, you will find a way no matter what's going on in your life. So lean on belief, lean on discipline, build those two things, and you build those two things through the process of doing and taking action. So again, guys, if you want to actually accomplish your goals in 2023, and you actually want to get to the end of the year and say, well, damn, I told myself I would make it my year, and I did. I'm a completely different person at the end of this year. I want you to experience that. So stop wanting, stop wishing, stop talking, and take action. Be intentional and be deliberate with that action. But guys, go out today and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be at. That is the outro for a reason, because you need to take action. Guys, if you found value from this podcast, please share it with at least one person. Share it on your social media. I want to grow this podcast. I want to grow this mission. I want to grow the impact. And please share it with anyone who needs it. So again, I'll say it. Go out today and do one thing that's going to take you one step closer to where you want to be.